Hey guys, today I'm going to take a Maschinen Krieger Stingray kit and kit bash it into a guitar Stingray. Watch as I take this model, build it, paint it, draw it as a comic book panel, and then later put it in an animated sequence. Come along, it's going to be a wild ride. So every model kit that I make that has leftover pieces, I keep those Greblies, which are basically little pieces from other kits that you can pull and put on to create detail and visual interest. So I have all different types of pieces from tanks, from boats, from planes. I keep everything because you never know when you're going to need it for something. Greblies became famous because they were used in Star Wars to build the spaceships. George Lucas coined the phrase Greblies because he was looking at a spaceship and he said it needs more things on it. They're like, what things? And he said Greblies, and they're like, Greblies? Okay, you mean like parts from a tank kit? And he's like, yeah, Greblies. And so that's how it was coined. When I started with the Maschinen Krieger model, I had a rough idea of stuff, but you know, the fun part about kit bashing something is you can just add and subtract pieces until you get a sense of something. So I wanted to create like a round sensor array that might work for the cameras or for like a laser weapon, so I put that on there. Then I took different types of vernier, tanks, and thrusters and added it to create something different, you know, to create visual interest. So I mean, like, even on these old helicopter blades, I put pieces of tank track on them, and it adds detail to it and believability. For me, you know, that may be electronic warfare or a sensor array or a communications array or something. And then when you draw it or use it as a design base or whatever, it's believable because every part has been put there for a reason, whatever it may be. Whatever the story is you're concocting in your head. But there's a through line throughout the whole thing of this is the design, these are the details, this is the paint scheme, this is how I think the ship would be used. I mean, like, this doesn't really seem like a starfighter to me. This seems like, you know, a smaller corvette or frigate or whatever that maybe launches missiles, or maybe is just doing electronic warfare, and that's its sole purpose, is to fly in and disrupt communications and radar. You know, so again, the design influences the story, which then influences the design. When it's done, what I really enjoy is the camo process. So this is a spaceship. What kind of camo do you use in space? I went to German naval camouflage from World War II. This used to be called battleship flash, and the purpose of this camouflage is so when you're looking through a periscope or binoculars at a ship in the distance, the shape is distorted so you can't recognize what type it is. Because if it's a battleship, they don't want you to know it's a battleship until they're within gun range. So for me, I decided to choose RLM colors from World War II, which are German Luftwaffe colors. So I chose like an RLM 84 gray as the base. I then chose an olive green, and then a darker battleship gray, and then a weird purplish brown, I guess what they call it. But it's a really unique color. I really like it. So when it's done, I needed a name for it. What are you going to call this? And so it does look like a stingray from the top of it, like a manta ray or a stingray. And then I got out my book of armaments that no home should be without, and I started flipping through it until I got to the guitar. And I was like, yeah, you know, this shape with the blade and the three prongs that are used for like trapping an enemy's weapon, that sort of looks like the shape of this ship. So I was like, okay, guitar, that's awesome. Name solved. So once I've designed and painted it, now I'm gonna draw it. In the animation, what I wanted to achieve was a test to see, is this something that could be an establishing shot for a sci-fi story? It's really important to have the model because you're thinking about, how am I gonna draw this? What's the movement that it does? So for this, I didn't really see it as like a starfighter swooping around and doing stuff. I really saw it as sort of like a stealth ship to really perform electronic warfare, which is to block enemy radar and then block enemy communications. So, you know, when I'm animating it, I'm thinking, okay, well, so maybe something simple like this movement itself works, And then in the story, this is the establishing shot of the ship moving, and then you cut to the inside, the interior, and you introduce the pilot, or you introduce the radar, or you introduce whatever. So here's a short animation of bringing the guitar Stingray to life. It was a lot of work. Enjoy.
Contact bearing 0145 degrees. Contact bearing 0145 degrees. Contact bearing 0145 degrees.